got some gold-plated copper wire here and some lovely little red beads. What I'm going to do is see if I can make a weeping willow tree. But I want to make it with a little bit more of a difference than I would normally. So what I'm going to do is, first of all, twist my wire. I've got a 0.4mm wire here, and I'm not sure what that is in gauge at the moment, but what I'll do is I will find out what it is and I'll put it up on the screen. So you're seeing it on the screen now. Like I'm traveling in time. Before I do anything, I'm going to twist these two wires so actually it makes these thicker, but each wire is twisted. Now I have a certain way of doing this. It's not very scientific. Literally, all I do is take myself a length of wire like this. I find the middle to it. Try not to get any loops in it while I'm doing it as well, like I have done there. Then that is the approximate middle. So I'll nip it together there so it's not going to keep coming undone. Now, you can do these by hand, and I've done them many, many times by hand. As long as you're constantly twisting it in the same direction, you'll get a nice twist. But I ain't got no time to be wasting for that. So what I'm going to do is use my Dremel. I've added my wire into the Dremel there and tightened it up, and then it's on that end there as well. I have also put it on a slow speed so that when I turn it on, it's going to do it really slow and not too fast so I can't control it. Can you see how nice and twisted that is and how even and quickly that did that? Well, I've done these. Didn't take long at all. Took me about 10-15 minutes to do these. Now, this is also a great way if you want to do some wire wrapping as well to get these twisted wires. They look great. And then once we've got the wires all ready, all we need to do is put the beads on them. Now, this is how I'm going to put the beads on, but you put the beads on how you feel is right for you, but this works. I fold the wire in half like that, then I put my round nose little loop making pliers, I have no idea what they're really called, and I make a double loop. So I've got it there like that, and then I'll push my wire around to there, take my pliers out, put them back in the hole. So I've got it to there, and then I will just give it a couple of twists. And quite tight twists there as well. And then you end up with a double loop like that. And we can finish that off in a minute. And now putting the beads on is really easy. I've got the loop that end, and then I take the top one, top wire, look at it like that. That's the top wire. Push my bead all the way down, bottom, and then the bottom wire I take and wrap it around 2 or 3 times. Doesn't matter how many times. You don't want too big a space. And then that bottom wire then became the top wire. It sounds complicated, but honestly it's not. And then as that's the top wire, you then put the bead on the bottom wire because you did the top last time, like that. And then I use that wire to thread it round. And I do that, and I'm putting 4 beads on per branch. So back to the top wire now, the one that's at the top. Thread the bead on, come round it with the bottom wire, twist that a few times so it's nice and tight. Now I've got 3 on. And then on the 4th one, you do something just slightly different. Putting the bead on in exactly the same way, like that. Then you're bringing that one over, giving it a couple of twists like that. Tight twists, so you've got the tight twists on it. And then you loosen it up and just loosely roll those or twist those wires together. Now, if you've got one wire that's longer than the other at the end, when you finish twisting those together, like I have, and I have with all the ones that I've done, don't be tempted to cut that off and even that up. And you'll see why in a second. Well, I've finished making these now, and actually I made more than 15. I doubled it up and made 30, because if not, I thought it's going to be a little bit sparse. It's going to look like it's got some sort of tree disease if I don't have more. And this is really the quick and easy bit, I think, to get next. I get everything that I need all fairly to the top. So all these tops are nicely inlined, and then I make a decision of where I want my roots to start, and I don't want massive roots on this one, so I'm going to have my roots start about here. So I'm going to put a bit of a twist in there. Now, if you want to, what you can do to hold this together is, let me show you, and this sometimes makes it a little bit easier, is once you've decided where you want your roots to be, then you can add a little box tie, and that will hold it in nicely together. Pull it fairly tight, And I'm just taking that end off because I don't want that to get in the way. So that's where my roots are going to be. Now you can do your roots now, but I like to do the branches first. So it's a case of really twisting these round on themselves like that. I want it a little bit taller than that. Okay, then I might take half of it here like this, twist that there, and then split that in half again and twist that one. That gives you different kind of sizes of branches and different bits. If you want it tighter, then I'm using my nylon headed pliers here, because that way it doesn't damage. One more off there, I think. And the same for this one. I don't always twist the branches in the same direction. There we go. So we've got a bit of a big branch coming off there. Then we've got a bigger branch coming off there. And I'm going to give that a twist. I mean, you make your tree how you want it to look. It doesn't have to look like a real tree at all. It can look like a fantasy tree. This one I'm going to do these two coming off here. And then I'll just continue on breaking this side up and doing exactly the same. And then I'll show you what I'm going to do after I've done that. I've done those now, and all I need to do is dress those out. Before I do that, I want to start the roots. Now, I'm going to leave the little black cable tie on. I'm going to pull these roots down so they're nice and flat. I will take the cable tie off once I've finished the roots. And I do the roots in exactly the same way as I do the branches. So what I'll do is I'll take a large clump. If I want a really nice big root like that one, I do. And I'll give that a really nice tight twist. I've made several of these trees for different projects. I will link them at the end of this one, so check those out. And then again, I just split that root up into different pieces like this. Twist those. If I need to cut any roots at this time, I will, but what I tend to do is I tend to give them a bit of a shape and a twist round, so it looks like there's some gnarly roots. But that one is a little bit too long, so I'm going to knock that down. So just keep doing that, going through, splitting your bundle up, giving it a twist until you're happy, and then split that one up. So there we go. So I'll split that one up again like that. And that will make two really nice little roots. So the roots are done now, and I want to dress out the tree. I haven't decided where I'm going to put this or what I'm going to put it on. The last one I made an artificial rock for, but I want to keep this nice and sturdy while I am dressing out the tree. So all I'm doing is I'm sellotaping these roots down onto an old yogurt pot, and that way it's going to keep in the same position and I can move it around really easily to dress out these branches. So all my roots are stuck down now, and that's not going to go anywhere. And we've got to think about this. If this is weeping, then gravity is going to be holding these things down, so they need to really go straight down. You don't want them sticking out at funny angles, because if you do, then it's just not going to look natural really. And all I'm doing is lifting up one of them like this, and then putting it on a little bit of a bend, using my finger to bend it down and make sure the whole thing is pointing down. See, that one isn't. That one there, if you can see, is pointing at an angle that needs to be straightened up. So I'm going to go around and finish playing with those, and then I'll show you what it looks like when it's completely finished, and what I'll have done to the end curls as well. Well, there we go. That's all done now. I may fiddle around with it for a little bit more, but I always do with these sorts of things. And all I do with these end bits is I open them up. So for instance, where we've got one here, we've got a little loop. I just give it a little bit of a twist and open them up so they give it a bit more volume on the bottom, and I think they look quite nice. I like the gnarly effect of the branches there. I'm definitely pleased I added more and doubled it up, and it sparkles lovely. I will find something to put this on, and I will no doubt share that project with you as well. Please boot that like button if you've enjoyed this video. It really helps my videos to get out there, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out, because you don't want to miss out on what I'm doing next. And ring that little bell. Take care, enjoy your crafting, bye.